The first example is a little burned. I kind of overfired it by mistake, but it's actually really cool. It's hollow, and it has a little wire that goes in through the center, and it comes up through a hole in the top, connected to the LED, and the other side is connected to the transformer. I'll show you in a minute. Another example is a lamp that I made with 3 heads of acorns. I ran a little 2 wires through each one of them. Each one has an LED. Then I wrapped the wires around the stick all the way down to the base, through a crack on the base that is just a rock that I epoxied together. And at the end it comes out and it has a little transformer like the other one. I have 2 lamps where I needed to have a bare cable that would not be very visible. This is one of them. As you can see, the wire that goes through each one of the acorns is very thin. It's actually varnished insulated from the coil of a motor. You can buy actually a roll of that if you wanted to. My first try was with this leaf. I have the wire coming through a little hole in the top. The bare wires are hidden in the back, but not that well hidden because I used cyanocrylate to paint it, to hold them with, but it was really bad. But there it is, very thin, very little wires that are soldered to an actual rubber-coated wire in the back. Next projects I'm working on, they haven't been fired yet. They also have little holes in the back for the wire to go to and sit inside on the ceiling of each one of the bends, and it will cast a little bit of light to create a shadow effect on all the relief. This one has a couple of birds and a waterfall and trees and a little lake on the bottom. It's going to look really cool. Some cool sky in the background. I hope I can hide it well. This is Trek, and a girl that loves Trek stuff. That's a symbol. And 3 other things. That one is just for her parents, and actually it's just, whatever I could think of texture-wise. Same thing, little wire goes through the center. It's going to glow down like that other one. So just now you know what I was talking about. Now for the light source. I went to Walmart and got some Nightlights and threw away the little plastic reflector on top and opened each one of the little boxes and soldered a thin wire. I got a little roll of thin wire somewhere. I don't know where that got from. But you see there's the negative and the positive where the light was connected to. And then I made sure I wrapped around the wire around a place so it would, when I pull on it, it wouldn't come off. And basically, what I did at the end, I just put a little soldering. They're ready to go, so I can connect the LEDs to them after I put it through the hole of the ceramic. The little LEDs, I'm just going to remove those white wires and connect it to it. But as you can see, each one says positive and negative. There on the left, you can see positive, and the right, negative. You just kind of make sure that they're polarized correctly. And there's no problem. You just test them and see which way you're supposed to solder them together. Pretty simple. Very tricky to make sure that you don't miss to touch the other things. Like there on the left, you can see that I had to remove some of the solder because it connected wrong. But otherwise, it was simple. I did make a knot there, as you can see, to make sure that the wire would not pull out and break the solder connection. On that little window of the box, there is the little sensor. That thing is connected onto the circuit board, and you can just snip them off because you won't need them. I've had my wooden nightlight that I have in there has been running for 2 years nonstop. It's always connected. It's always on. It doesn't overheat because I think the transformer is underpowering the LED. The LEDs can be overpowered and they can burn out easier. So anyway, I don't have a way of replacing them except by soldering. So that's a problem if you sell it to a client. But I think if you can pretty much guarantee it's going to run for years, who cares, you know? And the same token, I wish that there was already a product that you could buy that was super thin that you could like plug in so you could just replace them. There isn't such a thing. I do have, like, for example, and here's a little strip I'm going to show you in a picture. There's a picture, maybe, that, you know, you can connect this piece right here. This is from a long strip, and it happens to be the same voltage needed for this thing. It's a very small amperage, but for some reason I'm reading about 12 volts coming out of that transformer, and this thing doesn't burn them out, the light, really well. So, I mean, you could replace it probably with one of these guys. So, but anyway, just wanted you to know all the possibilities. I recommend you trying it just for fun and thinking about the light source, you know, if there's a better light source than this. But I think that Nightlights are a really cool project.
Vinha cantando alegremente, quen, 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 quando o marreco sorriu.